Good evening, everyone. As we still have community members coming in to join us, I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of our families, both current and potential future families, to our 2023-2024 Choice Open House session this evening, where you'll have the opportunity to learn all about our diverse programs across Red Clay, as well as the choice process. I want to thank you again for joining us. Thank you for choosing Red Clay and expressing your interest in all of our schools. For those who obviously aren't familiar or may not know in detail, we are the largest public and charter school system in the state of Delaware, serving approximately 16,000 plus students and homes, to 30 outstanding schools and programs. Everything from our early years pre-K programming to our diverse elementary, middle, and high school programs. 3 of our high schools are recognized as top 5 in the state. We're leading the way in innovation and future readiness, and you'll hear a lot about our diverse programs, innovative programs, particularly at the middle and high school level. We have nationally recognized educators and administrators. The Delaware Principal of the Year is home here in Red Clay, Ms. Melissa Brady, who's the principal of Linden Hill. We also have Ms. Krista Nye, who is the Delaware State School Counselor of the Year, who is actually one of 5 candidates and the only elementary school counselor up for national recognition, and many other award-winning folks and educators throughout our district. And you'll hear exciting certificate programs through our career technical ed programs, in-demand careers that will ultimately ensure student success. So we want to thank you again for joining us this evening. Again, to learn about our programs, but also in detail, the choice process in and of itself. When the window opens, how you register for choice, deadlines, timelines, transportation needs and such. So we do have staff here from our choice office, Ms. Christine Bewley, who I'll turn it over in a few seconds, as well as Dr. Aaron Castro here representing our elementary school division, Mr. Mark Pruitt, who is representing our secondary division, both middle and high schools, and Ms. Kelly Shahan, who oversees our transportation department. So again, thank you to our 229 and counting guests who are on with us this evening. Hopefully you will learn a lot about the process and program. And again, thank you for choosing Red Clay. And at this point, I will turn it over to Ms. Christine Bewley.
Thank you, Superintendent Green. As he said, I am Christine Bewley. I'm the Director of Information Technology and School Choice for Red Clay. It is a job that I've done for the past 10 plus years, and nothing is more satisfying than helping families have the ability to get their child into the school that they feel best fits their child's education. So what is school choice? It's expanded education options for your child beyond the school in which your attendance zone is. I am a mom of 3 kids. If you've joined this presentation before, I've told you all about them before. I have one that utilizes the school choice program. He is now in 10th grade and has been utilizing that program since 6th grade for the school that best fits his needs. And then I have 2 younger students, one who's in 7th and one who is in 1st, and they both attend their attendance zone schools because that's the right choice for them. They are my neighborhood school kids. They are the ones that want to ride their bike to school and go to school with their friends in the neighborhood. And I am just like you as a parent, and I'm getting ready. My 7th grader is talking about where she wants to go for high school. And that might not be my attendance zone school for her. So she is starting to look at choice schools as well for high school. So I am with you in your shoes as we go through this process together. So this evening, as Superintendent Green said, we have a lot of district folks on with us, and we're all going to be speaking to our the areas where we focus, elementary, middle, transportation, and then we're going to loop back to me towards the end and talk about the choice process itself, how you apply, what the timelines are, the application process, how you fill out the application, how the lottery runs. That's always a very big question towards the end. We do have the question and answer feature open in the webinar this evening. So, hang with us as we go through. We may answer your questions, but if you have a question, feel free to put it in there. I have the office secretary, Ms. Elizabeth Inman Moran, on with us as well. She will be answering questions in the chat as we go. So feel free to throw a question in there if you have one, but hopefully we'll answer it as we go through the presentation. So all Delaware schools are eligible to participate in choice. That means a Red Clay school, a charter school, a school in Christina, Colonial. All schools are open to choice. That being said, there are some limitations based on capacity. So if a seat is not available, we have to make sure there are seats available for all students that live in that attendance zone if they all want to come back. If it was up to us, we would put any student at any school that they wish to go to. But sometimes there are limitations based on seat capacity and the number of students in each classroom and the number of teachers. So when we get to the lottery process, I will touch on that a little bit more. But I'm going to hand it over. First, we would like to highlight our schools specifically. So we're going to start from the youngest and work our way up. So I would like to introduce Dr. Erin Nicastro, our Director of Elementary Schools.
Good evening and welcome to the Red Clay Choice Information Session. We're going to talk about our youngest learners. So starting with our preschool programs, we do offer preschool age programming for students, and that application period will open in March 2024. So it's a little bit of a different time frame, and Christine Bewley will cover that towards the end of this presentation. So moving on to our elementary schools, here is a list of our 12 of 15 elementary schools. These are our traditional K-5 elementary schools. And after we go through the list of schools, we'll talk about what all of our elementary schools offer for students. And these are also elementary schools with a little bit of, they have a little bit of a unique, excuse me, Shortridge and Warner are unique that they're community campus schools. So our K-2 students will attend Shortridge Academy. And then once they enter 3rd through 5th grade, they then go to Warner Elementary, which is just right up the street from Shortridge. So just a little bit unique, but again, offers the same programming as all of our elementary schools. And then we do have a school-wide Spanish immersion program at our William C. Lewis Dual Language Elementary School, where students K-5 learn both English and Spanish, starting from the first day of school. So all of our elementary schools, there's 15 total that offer K-5 programming. They all offer some unique programming. We have Talented and Gifted in all of our schools. Talented and Gifted is typically in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And it's through pull-out programming that goes above and beyond what students are being instructed on in their core content areas. All of our elementary schools offer band, strings, and orchestra to our students in grades 4 and 5. All of our elementary schools offer arts. Our students learn visual arts, music, as well as go to library classes and physical education classes weekly in all of our elementary schools. And all of our schools are equipped with up-to-date kind of state-of-the-art technology, and all of our students have access to technology starting all the way in preschool and kindergarten, and they have access to Chromebooks and other technological devices that they use during the school day. And again, those are offered at all of our elementary schools. So we really have great programming for whichever elementary school you choose for your family.
So finishing up the elementary schools, thank you, Dr. Castro, for covering our 15 elementary schools and some of our unique programs. At this point, I want to turn it over to Mr. Mark Pruitt, who is our Director of Secondary Schools, and he's going to talk about all of the individual programs we have at our middle and high schools, along with the new program that we're releasing this fall. Okay, I'm going to take over for a little bit. It looks like, just as in any typical situation, we're having some technical difficulties. The building in which Mr. Pruitt and Superintendent Green are at looks like the internet just went down. So I am going to take on some of the comprehensive middle schools, and then I might throw it over to Dr. Nicastro to talk about some of our high school offerings. So our comprehensive middle schools are grades 6 through 8. Alexis AI DuPont Middle School, which is out on Route 52. HB DuPont Middle School, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's world, is out in the Hockessin area. Skyline Middle School is in the Skyline area in Pike Creek, and Stanton Middle School is on Limestone Road. And we've included the open house dates here for all of your for all of these schools. If you like to visit their open houses, they will be here. We will also be posting those on the district website. I know that they will be, we will be posting, there's been some questions in the Q&A already about the open house dates. We will make sure they are posted prominently on our district website, along with this presentation. There was also a question, will the presentation be recorded? And the answer is yes. We're recording it right now, and we will get it posted on our website in the near future. And it looks like Mr. Pruitt might be connecting. So there was one more question. I'm going to circle back to the question and answer that I can answer for everybody. Feeder schools, so attendance zone schools, that has come in a couple times. If your child attends the school in which you live, that's what we call a feeder school and an attendance zone school. So if that's the case, you would just go to the school that you in the area for which you live in. If you don't know that, up on the Red Clay website, there's an area for parents and registration, and there's a link right there where you can look up what your attendance zone school is. So I'm going to throw it back over to Mr. Pruitt, who has reconnected at this point. Mr. Pruitt, is there anything else you would like to add besides open house dates about our comprehensive middle schools that I covered?
No, just I think we're good there. There, I was going to mention that there. You can hear me, by the way. I'm on my phone now. We're down in the offices are down. Yeah, the internet's down. Okay. I was going to mention that we do things. Well, there's far more the same in our schools than there are different. And so, you're looking to contrast the schools. For example, what makes each school different? AI Middle's AVID program, HB's extracurricular and during the day interest-based advisory program, Skyline's clubs and activities after school, Stanton's career and technical education programs. Those are the kind of things you're looking to when you're trying to decide on a school. All right, I'm still up here. I am again now looking at our when families are the following schools are magnet schools for those interested in these particular magnet programs. I think it's worth mentioning as a former magnet school principal, it's important to know that students should have an interest in the programming at these magnets. A student who does not like to perform is not likely going to enjoy Cab Calloway School of the Arts. A student who doesn't like blood is probably not going to enjoy or get the full experience of a life science magnet school like Conrad. Having said that, Brandywine Springs is one of our magnet schools with a leadership academy attached to it. It sits at the center of their academic program, and they go through a 3-year sequence of leadership skills during their time at the school. Cab Calloway is students participate in 3-year majors, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in dance, digital media, and communication arts, instrumental music, piano, strings, technical, theater arts, visual arts, or vocal music. Comrade has an accelerated math program, and exploratory courses in biotechnology and allied health fields, and extracurriculars aligned with those science careers. And the IB, the International Baccalaureate Middle School program at the John Dickinson School, comprises a curriculum framework of 8 subject groups, providing a broad-based and balanced education for early teens.
Mr. Pruitt, somebody has a question in the Q&A about what a magnet program means.
Well, a magnet program, what that means is no one attends a magnet school without completing a choice application. They do not have any attendance zone students, and they are very specific in what they have to offer. You've got the International Baccalaureate Middle School program, middle years program at Dickinson, a life science magnet school at Conrad, performing arts at Cab, and the Leadership Academy at Brandywine Springs. Okay. Our high schools, it's important to note that when you're looking at high schools, I think one of the things that needs to be considered is to research the 3-year career pathways at each of the high schools, both comprehensive and magnet, while also understanding the support services offered, college coursework opportunities, and electives at each school. AI High School is one of our comprehensive, these are the 3 comprehensive high schools. One of our comprehensive high schools, and in addition to its long history of excellence, it's adding new programming for the upcoming school year, fall of 24. Beginning next year, they will be offering a gaming administration pathway, 3-year pathway to go with their esports lab, an allied health pathway that will provide students credentials in healthcare careers where there's a labor market shortage. And most notably, AI will be one of 2 campus sites for Red Clay's Early College Academy, and I will speak to the Early College Academy momentarily. The John Dickinson School, renamed from John Dickinson High School in 2019, includes the middle years. In addition to the middle years IB program, it includes a comprehensive secondary school with a focus on the International Baccalaureate curriculum. The IB curriculum is a future-ready program that builds students' inquiring mindset, fosters their desire to learn, and prepares them to excel in careers and lead meaningful lives. McCain High School is an avid high school that hangs its hat on college and career readiness. They have 3-year pathways and outstanding facilities in automotive, manufacturing and engineering, culinary careers, animal science careers, plant science. They have a teacher academy for aspiring teachers, an early childhood education program, marketing and audio radio technology, and also a patient care program through a partnership with Delaware Technical and Community College. McCain will also be the 2nd site for the Early College Academy. Okay. Beginning next fall, Red Clay is launching its Early College Academy in partnership with Goldie Beacom College. The Academy offers high school students to simultaneously earn high school and college credits, so at the same time. The Early College Academy is available only at Alexis I. DuPont High School as one of our campus sites, and Thomas McCain High School as the other campus site. The program starts with 9th graders coming in. So if you have an 8th grader right now, they're going to take a boot camp course, which prepares them for the challenges of college coursework. During 10th and 11th grade, college courses are integrated into the high school schedule. And in their senior year, students will be on Goldie's campus. Transportation is provided if needed, taking courses taught by college faculty members at the college. Students in the Early College Academy receive support through not only the boot camp course, but they have an early college support class each year in high school, and they are assigned an advisor to guide them through the 4-year sequence. Students who successfully complete all available courses are available to graduate with Red Clay's College Sophomore Distinction Diploma from the Red Clay Consolidated School District. The program is designed to fit within the regular high school instructional day. I think this is very important, allowing students to be high school students to be high school students. They can participate in traditional high school experiences, co-curricular, extracurricular, and as well as taking high school courses. Students interested in the program will also follow the Delaware school choice process. They would either choose McCain High School and then a secondary drop-down Early College Academy, or Alexis I. DuPont High School and then the secondary drop-down Early College Academy. I encourage you to attend those schools' open houses or visit their website or visit the ECA website at redclayschools.com/ECA. High school magnet schools. The following schools are magnet schools for interested families. Again, these programs are targeted in nature based on interest and aptitude and may include supplemental assessments. Please remember that students should have an interest in the program of the magnet to fully benefit from the experience. Beyond outstanding core academics, Cab Calloway High School Students participate in 3-year pathways in dance, digital media, and communication arts, instrumental music, piano, strings, technical theater, theater arts, visual arts, and vocal music. Students completing a choice application must meet the rubric requirements of the performance-based assessment to enter the lottery. And at Conrad, high school students participate in the 3-year pathways in biotechnology, biomedical science, computer science, nursing, physical therapy and athletic healthcare, and animal science. Students completing a choice application must also meet the rubric requirements of interest and aptitude in science and math. In addition, Red Clay charters 2 additional high schools, the Charter School of Wilmington and Delaware Military Academy. You see contact information up there. The charter schools do have their own choice application processes. They do follow the Delaware school choice law. And for more information, we encourage you to contact the school directly or visit the school's websites for admissions criteria.
Mr. Pruitt, there was a question in the Q&A. If you could explain IB a little further.
Well, I don't know that I'm an expert in international baccalaureate, so I may have to defer to Dr. Royster, the principal at the John Dickinson School. But what I can say is that it is an international program, so it's recognized all around the world in high schools to prepare students for college thinking, an inquiry-based way of thinking. During the 9th and 10th grade year, you're taking preparatory courses to get you ready for the true IB program, which begins in 11th grade. Students take a series of IB courses, IB US History, IB World History, IB English and Writing, and then test on those courses at the end of the year. Some people are a little more familiar with advanced placement testing, and similar to those advanced placement courses, you take a test, score, and potentially carry those credits on to you for college, as well as simply having the IB diploma in your hand when building a resume to apply for college. But again, they have a coordinator in the building. Dr. Royster will get you in touch with the right people to learn more about the program. And of course, I encourage you to visit their Choice Open House.
Okay, one more question for you, Mr. Pruitt. Will students already attending AI, presently as a sophomore, as an example, have the chance to participate in the software development and college academy courses?
Yes. So if you are an AI high school or McCain High School attendant, that's a great question, and one that we put on our frequently asked questions at the website. What we would ask is that you complete the choice application for the early college academy, but you will in fact automatically get admitted because you'll be that is your feeder pattern school. So I think I answered. I think that was what they were looking for.
Can they do early college academy if they're not coming into their 9th grade year this year? I think that was more of the question. Or are we only taking incoming 9th graders?
We are, because it's the first cohort. We do have pilot courses with Goldie Beacom College. We're currently offering a sociology course and a Goldie Beacom psychology course to any 10th, 11th, or 12th grade students. But the sequence will not start until current 8th graders are in 9th grade for the preparatory course, and then 10th grade will begin the course sequence to guide them through their freshman year of college while in high school.
Okay, so you need to be an incoming 9th grader to participate in early college academy, but this software development courses, the CTE pathway, that is available for any student attending AI, correct?
Yes, the new pathways will be available. You would need to be in either 9th grade next year or 10th grade next year to be in the 3-year pathway in allied health or in gaming administration. However, there is also, I believe, an elective course in esports and gaming. But again, I encourage you to reach out to the principal, Mr. Marty Cressy at the school, and he will direct you to the coordinators of those programs.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. I have my team working through, you keep seeing me look over to the sides because I'm reading the question and answer as we go. There was one about Del Castle. So the presentation this evening are for schools that are within Red Clay or that Red Clay charter. So we gave you the information about our 2 charter schools. Del Castle is part of Newcastle County VOTEC. They follow the same choice process. Like I mentioned earlier, all Delaware schools, districts and charters are eligible for choice. They have their own choice application process. So I suggest if you're interested in a VOTEC school that you check out their website. They are also, I'm sure, having an information session as well. So process wise, so back to how choice works. I do want to cover one other thing that around elementary schools. So you saw our choice open house dates for our middle and high schools. Our elementary schools do not run open houses because of the homey feel of an elementary school. They like to do school tours. So if you were interested in an elementary school and taking a tour of the school, feel free to contact that elementary school. All of our schools are offering tours for parents, little small groups that can walk around the school together and answer any questions that you might have. But there are no official open house dates like there are for our middle and high schools. So applying for school choice. I would say mark your calendar. So school choice statewide opens always the first Monday in November and closes the second Wednesday in January. So this year it opens on November 6th, which is about a week and a half away. So before that, if you have applied previously for school choice using school choice DE, you will need to create a new account. And start over. We wipe out accounts every year, mainly because people forget their passwords, and it's more time consuming for a parent to try to remember their password and then create a new account from year to year. Step 2, pre-registration. So there was a question in the chat about this. If your child is currently registered in a Delaware public school, they're attending a Red Clay school, they're attending a school in Christina, Brandywine, they're attending a charter school, you do not need to pre-register before applying for choice. If you're coming from a homeschool, if you're coming from a private school, if you're coming from into kindergarten for the first time from preschool, you must pre-register in order to apply for choice. What that does is it validates your address. It shows that you're a Delaware resident because you can't choice. We have had parents who live in Pennsylvania who want their child to attend a Red Clay school, and unfortunately, because of state taxes, school taxes, that's not an option. But it also validates your district of residence, in district or out of district. So you have to pre-register and get a state ID created in the state. You pre-register your attendance zone school. You can do that online, going to redclayschools.com/registration, and there's a link. You can do it online. Or you can do it in person at your attendance zone school. And you'll need, if you look on our website, you'll have the list of documentation that you need, birth certificate, 2 proofs of residency, immunization records, those types of things. If you have attended, say you were in a Red Clay school for kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then you went to a private school, but you would like to apply for 6th grade, you still need to pre-register again. Even though you were in a school at one point, we need to make sure we have all the best contact information. We're validating your address again. You have to have an active registration or pre-registration at a Delaware public school or charter. And then apply for school choice. So you're going to apply on school choice. If you go to redclayschools.com/choice, it will take you to schoolchoicede.org. And right there, that is a statewide website. So somebody asked about Del Castle earlier. From that website, you can log in, create your account, and as a parent, you can apply to multiple schools. So within Red Clay, I'm gonna. Well, these are not in order. I was hoping we had them in order. We changed our presentation a little bit this year. So you can create your one account and apply for up to 3 schools within Red Clay. So say you apply to Brandywine Springs, Moat, and Marbrook. And then you want to apply to a charter school. Once you submit your application, you can go back out and you could apply to a charter school. everything is going to be through that One Choice website and that one account that you created. So the benefits of doing it online versus a paper application is you can always see where your application is in the process for choice. Again, why apply online? You get immediate confirmation. If you don't get a confirmation number, we don't have your application. So please, please, please make sure when you apply online, you have that confirmation number, you get to the end, and you keep track of that confirmation number. If there are ever any questions, feel free to call our office. Our contact number's at the end, and we will be more than happy to look up your application and tell you, yes, we have your application. Here are the schools. Say you apply for 3 schools on November 6th, and then you go to all the high school open houses and you want to change and move AI High Early College Academy up to the top and move Dickinson IB second choice and Conrad third choice, because you loved the Early College Academy, but you already had Dickinson IB as your first choice. If you apply online, you can go back into that account anytime before the second Wednesday of January. So choice closes the second Wednesday of January. From November 6th till January 10th, you can go in and modify your choice application. We don't do anything with any choice application until the lockdown at the end of the day on January 10th. So that means you can put the application in, you can go to all those choice open houses or go the school tours, and then decide before January 10th what order you want your schools in on your choice application. If you have multiple children that you're applying for choice, you can do all of that through that same online account that you create as your parent when you first log in. And again, if you're invited, you can do an online acceptance, and our online applications, along with our paper applications, are available in English and in Spanish. Tips for applying. There's a checkbox on the last screen. Please write down your confirmation number. If you did not receive a confirmation email, we don't have your application. Check your spam. Call us. If we want to make sure, if you are applying for choice and you think you applied and you do not get a confirmation email and have your number, please contact us. We will look it up, and if need be, we will help enter the application from our office to make sure that your choice application is in before the deadline. So the big question we always get is, how are choice invitations decided? So there are preferences when the lottery runs. So these were changed. If you are a seasoned choice parent, you may notice that these are a little bit different than in past years. It was changed last year. The state changed the choice law, and the district adopted the policy. So the preferences are returning students. So when you have, and what returning students are, if you have a student, say in Brandywine Springs, for K-5, you saw on the slide, that is a traditional elementary school. K-5 has an attendance zone, a feeder pattern and attendance zone. We use those words interchangeably. So they live in an area, and based on their address, they're assigned to Brandywine Springs for K-5. 6th through 8 of Brandywine Springs is full choice. There are no 6th, 7th, or 8th graders living in a house that are automatically assigned to Brandywine Springs. So if you're a 5th grader and want to stay at Brandywine Springs, you have to apply for choice for 6th grade. When the lottery runs, you're considered a returning student because you're currently in that building and you're applying for choice to stay in that building. You have the top preference, the first preference for that building. That same preference applies for 8th graders going to 9th grade at Dickinson because they have the middle years program, Cab Callaway from 8th to 9th, and Conrad Schools of Science for 8th to 9th. So that is what our returning student preference is. So I can't emphasize enough, if you have a 5th grader at Brandywine Springs and you're looking to apply to multiple middle schools, if Brandywine Springs is one of your options, you have to put that on as one of your 3 options on your choice application if you want to be considered for Brandywine Springs. The next group are students applying for a program who live within the school's attendance zone. So this goes back to what Mr. Pruitt was saying about Early College Academy. If there is a cap on the program, the first students who are going to be invited into that program are going to be students that live in AI High or McCain's attendance zone. Same thing goes for IB at Dickinson. If you're a Dickinson feeder student and you're applying for IB, you fall into that preference category. There is no second preference line for Cap Callaway or Conrad because they do not have attendance zones. Then the third group are in-district siblings of returning in-district students. So this one is important. We get a lot of questions about this one. The older sibling has to be returning to the school the next year. So if you have a third grader who's going to be a fourth grader and you have an incoming kindergartner, that incoming student will get this in-district sibling of returning in-district student preference. If you have a fifth grader who's moving on to middle school and an incoming kindergartner, that they will not get the in-district sibling of returning in-district student preference because they're no longer going to be in the school. That incoming kindergartner would then fall into that next area, which is in-district students. And this is where the change for those seasoned choice parents, this is where the change has come. So in-district students come after in-district siblings, and then out-of-district siblings of returning out-of-district students. So the same kind of applies for the in-district siblings. They have to be returning. They have to be going to that same building next year in order for the incoming student to get that sibling preference. And then the last group are out-of-district students. So the lottery process. This is, I'm going to go step by step. I talk very fast. So if you have questions, throw it into the chat. If anybody wants to kind of chime in, let me know from the Q&A if there's multiple questions. So step one, the choice application. All applications are submitted November 6th through January 10th. In that time, there are two schools that have a step in between there. So Cap Callaway has their assessment process where you have to meet the minimum requirement, which is a 60% to get into the lottery. And then for Conrad's Schools of Science, you need to have 7 points to get into the lottery. Once all of that is done and the lottery closes on January 10th, we make sure we have all of the students who are eligible for those two programs and anybody else who applied to any other school. The other schools don't have that other step. We run the lottery. So what happens is all eligible applicants are assigned a computer generated random number. I don't know this number. I don't create this number. It's created by a Microsoft computer generated random number. That's how it's assigned by a place called Data Service Center. So we have no control over these lottery numbers. Once that happens, the next step is the preference sorting. So all applications are sorted by their preference and lottery number. So where I was talking before about the Brandywine Springs students. So say 30 fifth graders are applying for sixth grade at Brandywine Springs. It'll take those fifth graders, take their preference group order and start with the lowest lottery number and start ranking to the highest lottery number. And that's the order of the lottery that it'll start inviting seats to go down. Once that first preference group has been exhausted, it goes to the next group, which would be in-district students of returning in-district siblings of returning in-district students. Same thing, that whole group, anybody who has that preference gets sorted from the lowest lottery number to the highest lottery number, and the lottery just keeps inviting until it either invites all seats available or it runs out of students to invite. And then it would go to the next preference group, which would be in-district students. So the lottery number, that's the step 3 of the lottery. Step 4, the number of invitations offered by a school, grade, level, and preference order are filled until all seats are filled. So that's the step I just explained. It just keeps going through the preference sorting based on the lottery number that was assigned in step 2. So priority order, and this is the slide I was trying to flip through earlier. So you can select up to 3 schools on your Red Clay choice application. Now, Mr. Pruitt spoke earlier that Charter School of Wilmington and Delaware Military Academy, even though we charter them, they have their own choice process. So you can select up to 3 Red Clay schools, say AI High, Conrad, and Dickinson, and then finish out your Red Clay application and then go back in and apply for Charter School of Wilmington, and then go back in and apply for Delaware Military Academy, and then go back in and apply for schools like Christina. So it's 3 schools per district. But our charter schools, we charter them, but they are considered charters and have their own application. But it's super important that you list them in the order that they are on the application for this reason. So when the lottery runs, if you are, I'm going to look at scenario 1. If you are invited to your first choice school, the lottery stops running. You can only be invited to 1 Red Clay school of those 3 that you put on the Red Clay application. So if you are, I'm going to go back to Brandywine Springs because I've used that example a few times. If you are a Brandywine Springs student and you put Stanton Middle School as your first choice and Brandywine Springs as your second choice, if you're invited to Stanton Middle School, you will never be considered for Brandywine Springs. So it's real important that your most top choice school is your first choice school. That's why I said earlier, if you might think that Dickinson IB was your first choice and then you toured Early College Academy at AI High, you can go back in and resort those priority orders anytime before January 10th. If you feel like that might be your first choice after touring or seeing the schools. So second scenario, you could be waitlisted for your first choice and the lottery keeps going and it looks at your second choice. If you're invited at your second choice, again, the lottery then stops and you're not considered for your third choice. But you can stay on that wait list for your first choice. And if you're happy with the second choice, you can accept that seat and anticipate attending there, but know that you will stay on that wait list. And we will call you if a seat opens up. We will call you for your first choice school and offer that to you if a seat becomes available. So even if you accept your second choice, you will still remain on that first choice wait list. And scenario 3 covers the same thing. You could be waitlisted for both your first and second choice school and invited to your third, and the same happens, you will stay in those wait lists. And in some cases, you may be waitlisted for all 3 schools, just depending on how many seats we have available. Again, we have to make sure we leave seats for all students who live in the attendance zone, and we're capped at a certain number of seats. We can only take 120 students into Brandywine Springs 6th grade. So if we get 300 applications, we can only take 120 of those students. But just remember, when you're applying for a Red Clay school or a charter or another district, and we all run our same choice process. So you may be invited to a Red Clay school and maybe invited to a Christina school and maybe invited to a charter school, but you can only accept a seat in one of those locations. So I'm going to talk about some more dates coming up and explain the importance of those dates. Again, you can only receive an invitation for 1 Red Clay school, which I covered, and the wait list. If you are waitlisted, it is maintained until the first day of school. So that being said, just because you got waitlisted for your first choice school doesn't mean there might not be a seat available. We may call you in May. We may call you in July. We did a ton of invites over the summer for schools as people move out of the area or they were getting invited to other schools outside the district. It does open up seats. And we'll be more than happy to give you your waitlist number if you call our office after the lottery runs and you get your notification, and you can call us as many times as you want and we will always give you your waitlist number. So I'm going to hand it over to Kelly Shahan from our transportation office and talk about busing. I know there's been some questions coming up about busing in the Q&A, and then I'm going to come back with some more timelines and things at the end.
Thank you, Christine. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time to attend this choice meeting. It is super important for you to become informed about transportation before you accept any choice placement. The good news is that you will have transportation options if you decide to send your student to a school other than their neighborhood school, feeder school. However, those options might be quite different than what they would have been if your child was attending their feeder school or neighborhood school. On the slide before you, you'll see a web address for the Choice Magnet Hub Stops. These are the only guaranteed choice stops each year. If one of these stops works for you, then you need not do anything further with transportation. However, if it doesn't work for you, any of these stops, then I strongly suggest you email me with your student's name, the schools you're interested in, and your address. And I'll do my very best to help you understand your transportation options so that you can make an informed decision about choice. And I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to understand all your transportation options before accepting placement. Because when you accept placement, you are essentially agreeing that it is your responsibility to drive your child to the assigned choice stop or drive your child to school. The last thing you want, or any of us want, is for you to accept placement. You and your student are super happy about that. And then in August, when you receive transportation information, you realize that you were unable to drive your child to the choice stop or to school. So please take a look at the Choice Transportation website, email me, or call our office. The number is on the slide. Ask to talk to any specialist about choice, and we'll be happy to help you so that you can make an informed choice before accepting placement. And thanks for listening, and best of luck to all of you.
Thanks, Kelly. So we get these same questions over and over and over again. So I want to, even though I mentioned them, well, most of them, I'm going to circle back to them. Do I need to pre-register at my attendance zone school? If you are currently attending any Delaware public school, district or charter or VOTEC, you do not need to pre-register. If you are a fifth grader at an elementary school and you want to apply for choice at a middle school, but you're attending Brandywine Springs and you want to apply to HB, you do not need to pre-register because you're already attending a public school. If you are coming from a private school, if you're coming from being homeschooled or starting school for the first time, moving here from out of state, you have to do the pre-registration. I received an invite to my first choice school, but no information is listed for my second or third choice school. That goes back to that scenario 1, 2, and 3. You will only receive an invitation to one Red Clay school. So if it is your first choice school on the application, if you receive an invite, nothing is going to be listed for that second and third choice. It will be blank. There's been the lottery stops running. There's never a decision made for that. And after that happens, we are unable to make any changes to the choice application, rearrange schools, because all choice is closed at that point by state law. Any changes to applications needed to be done before the January 10th deadline. That being said, kindergarten is that one exception. It's on a later slide, but I'll talk about it now. Kindergarten choice is open until the first day of school. It's the only grade level that we by state law continue to take applications for. If you're on this call this evening, I can say you are an anxious choice parent. If you have any kindergarten friends, families of kindergarten, incoming kindergarten students, it's best to apply during the choice period because after the choice lottery runs, it is a first come, first serve. So you get put to the bottom of the wait list. If there's seats available, obviously you'd be invited, but if there is a wait list, you get put to that bottom. So it's always better as a kindergarten parent to apply during the regular choice period. But again, we can take choice applications for kindergarten up until the first day of school, but that is the only grade level. One thing I didn't mention before, but I'm going to mention now, my child has an IEP or 504, can they still apply for choice? Absolutely. We do not look at any special ed accommodations through an IEP, or if you have a 504, we do not look at any of that to make choice decisions. That being said, if you are if you're having an assessment at Cab Calloway or an interview at Conrad Schools of Science, and you feel that your child has an accommodation that should be considered for that assessment, please call our office, and my number will be at the end. And we will relay that information to the special ed coordinator at the school. They will work with you and ask what accommodations. Sometimes it might be extra time because it's written in their IEP that your student is eligible for extra time. It's only appropriate accommodations. Some of them don't apply, but if you have any questions, call us. We will get that. We will gather that information and get it to the special ed coordinator. If they're applying to CAB and Conrad and have an assessment. If you're applying for kindergarten or third grade at a school and your child has an IEP or 504, we don't need to know that information. They're not taking any kind of additional assessment where they might need some extra time, those kind of things. So we don't need to know that. It's really only if you're applying to CAB and Conrad for those assessment considerations. The last question, my child was placed on a wait list. When will I find out if they will get an invite? So I'm going to go to the timeline here. So, and I will answer that as we go. So November 6th, choice opens. January 10th is when it closes. February 7th is our Red Clay board meeting, and board action needs to be sent out within 5 business days. So you will know within 5 business days of February 7th of the choice decisions for Red Clay. Every student, every district and charter in the state has to have their information out to you by the last day of February, which is the 29th this year. And then you have until the 3rd Friday of March, which I don't have the date off the top of my head, to accept or decline that seat. So I always tell parents, wait until you have all the decisions for all the schools and districts that you have applied to. And then make the decision that's best for your child. If it's a Red Clay school, we would love to have you, which is why we are all here tonight on this call. We love to welcome families into Red Clay. If it is a district or another district or a charter school, and that's what's best for your student, great. We're never going to hold you from doing that. But that 3rd Friday of March is when everybody needs to let us know what their choice decisions are. After March, I want to say it's the 17th. After that 3rd Friday of March, that is when we do a second round of invites. So we know that there are 10 more seats at Marburg Elementary, and we can invite 10 more students there. We know that there's 12 more seats at Conrad Schools of Science because a lot of students went to DMA, those kind of things. So the second kind of wave is at the end of March. It's not going to be the third Monday in March, or right after that deadline. We need some time to get through things. So it's usually about the first week of April that we do a second push. So that'll be the next big push for waitlist invites. And then they kind of trickle in from there through the end of the spring and throughout the summer. And kindergarten applications, like I mentioned, are available until the first day of school. So we are here to help. I am going to open it up. I'm going to have Elizabeth has been going at those question and answers. I see her answering most of them. So she is in the office. That is her phone number. I would love for her to introduce herself and ask anybody on the team, were there some reoccurring questions in question and answer that we should address for everybody? And thank you.
A couple people asked that you show the transportation slide one more time so they could take down the information.
Sure. And thank you for whoever said the 3rd Friday of March is March 15th. So thank you so much for that.
Christine, couple questions about these slides. Are they going to be available on the Choice website?
Yes, so we're going to make the presentation available on the website, and we recorded this video this evening, so we will be posting the video as well. So here is the transportation slide with Ms. Shahan's phone number, 322-0251, and she has a great team over there, and they're ready to answer the phone and answer questions as you may have them. Any other questions from the team? All right. I want to thank everybody again. Important dates: Monday, November 6th. Unfortunately, you cannot apply before that date. We we recommend you apply online, but if not, feel free to stop at our office. I'm going to go back to our slide here. So our office phone number is 552-3789. You can find the address for our office. If you have trouble filling an application, stop on in our office and we'll be more than happy to help you fill out that application after November 6th or after. We are unable to do anything before that by state law, but we are so excited that you are here with us this evening and to learn about our Red Clay schools and the choice process. I do believe we are going to have this translated into Spanish for our Spanish speaking families to be available on the presentation as well on site. And we do have folks that will help our Spanish speaking families navigate the process as well. We have a fantastic MLL office and their secretary over there works very closely with us as the year goes. So choice opens November 6th at 8 a.m. That's when you can log on and create your account and start the process. All right. Have a great evening, everyone.